Hello beautiful people, welcome you back to my channel. It's your girl partner, so it's good to be here again. On today's video I'll show you how to create a basic corset pattern. Yes, it's quite straightforward and easy. Stay tuned to the end of this tutorial, okay? As I take you through this process, I'm going to break it down in such a way that you'll be able to understand it very easy, okay? Yes, and of course, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, okay? I'll appreciate it a lot. And remember to turn your bell notification bells on. That's the only way you get notified every time I upload my weekly videos. And also a very big thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I can't thank you enough, guys. Thank you so much for always supporting me, okay? Thank you so much. So let's get started. So here, first of all, I'm going to mark out my measurements, the lines I'm using. I'm going to place my tape from here and mark out the chest line I'm working with first. Now the chest line, I'm using a chest line of 9 inches. Then the bust point line, is 10. I'll make it 10.5 because of the joining on the other upper part. Then the under bust is 13.5, so I'll make it 14 because of the same joining on the upper part. That's on the shoulder part, okay? Yes, and so on the waistline it's at 17 inches mark. Then here is an extra inches of allowance. So okay, the only difference between this, now you can extend this to any length you want, okay? That's just straightforward. But most importantly, the upper part of the measurement is the main thing to capture here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to convert all this to a straight line. Here is the chest line, the bust point line, the under bust, and the waistline. Yeah. So I'm also going to take note of the neckline I'm going to work with, okay? So this depends on you, depends on how revealing you want the upper part to be. If you want the cleavage to be more revealing, that means you might need to go down to as much as 8 inches, or yes, 8 inches, you know, or 7.5 inches thereabout. But I'm working with 6 inches, okay? And of course, the upper part, you can also make use of it as a yoke. It will serve as the yoke actually. So I'm going to mark out the neckline I'm working with. I'm making use of 6 inches, okay? So here, 6 inches. So I will do well by leveling it all. So here is the neckline line. Here is the chest line. Here is the bust point, under bust, the waist. I'll serve this one, I'll call it the allowance. I'll call this part the allowance, okay? Yes, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to impute my shoulder measurement using the 8 by 3 inches method. So I'll mark out my 8 inches here and also the 3 inches here. Then at this point, I'll come down by 1 inch. I'll connect it to my 3 inches point here. The shoulder measurement I'm working with is 15. If I divide it by 2, that's 7.5. I'll add half inch of allowance, making it 8. So I'm marking out 8 here, all the way to my chest line, so I can get an angle 90 degrees to give me my armhole curve. So here, so I'm going to come here now and get the center point from this point here to here. The center point here, I have 8, so the center point is 4. At this 4, I'll come in by half of an inch. This is to enable me create my front armhole. So I'll take it this way. Please go ahead and make use of your French curve or armhole curve if you have. I'm gently taking it this way. So here is my armhole line, okay? Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to impute my bust span measurement so that I can create my curve. So here, the bust span I'm working with is 7. If I divide it by 2, that is 3.5. I add 0.5 inch of extra allowance, making it 4, right? So from this neckline, I'm going to mark out 4. I'm taking it straight down to the floor length. So that's why I said if it's going to be a top, you will also extend the same measurement the same way. So I'll just connect these lines. Okay, so coming down to my under bust line, I will take 1 inch on both sides, 1 inch, 1 inch. On the waistline, the same thing, 1 inch, and also on the floor length. So I'm going to connect these straight lines. You can see this. Now, at this same neckline, remember this is our neckline, I'll also impute the same 1 inch as well, just like I did here on both sides as well, okay? Now, the bust point line here, I would go up and down by 1 inch. This is the bust point line. I'm just marking 1 inch above and 1 inch below, okay? Now this 1 inch below, I will use it to connect it to this my under bust line so it can create my lower cup here. Gently doing this. You can see this. Then on the same thing on this upper part, this 1 inch above, I will also connect it to this part, creating a cup as well. So you can see I have created my cup here, okay? Then I'll come now, what we're going to do now is to create the corset cup itself now. So what I'm going to do now is to come to this upper bust point line. I'm going to move up by 2 inches. From here, I'm moving up by 2 inches. From these 2 inches marked I've moved up, I'm going to go inwards by 3/4 of an inch. You could do half, you could do 3/4, you could do 1. This is represent the distances between each cup. So I'm marking out 3/4 inch here. So I'm just extending this line, okay? So at this point now, I'm going to extend this line straight down. So here, remember I moved in by 3/4. At this bust point line, I'll also take note of that so that I can get the straight line here. Can you see this? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take it from this bust point and connect it to my under bust line here, okay? So I'm just doing this gently to my under bust cup. Can you see this? Then the same thing, I will also take it from here and connect it to this upper part as well. You can see this. So coming down to this other side now, we're going to create the corset cup on this other part, having in mind that this other part is usually, fuller. So I would like to take note of what I have from this bust point to this place. I just want to take note of what I have here. I have here about, say, 3.2 inches here. So because this side is going to be fuller, I'm going to make it add half of an inch extra to it, so which will become 3.7. So I'm going to mark out from this breast point. I'm just marking out 3.7 inches here. Okay, so this part here, I'm also going to connect it to this same under bust line. So I'm taking it this way, just creating a curve. Okay, so from here now, I will extend this straight line to this, just extend it to a straight line here. I'm just taking it up to the chest line. Can you see this? From here, then I'm taking a straight line. So what I'm going to do now is to blend it as well to this place. From here, I'm also going to curve it so I can blend it properly here. Can you see this? So this is it. You can see this. So I'm just taking it this way. I'm blending it to this chest line this way. It's as simple as that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, this is now, like I said, from here to here, remember it's 6 inches, and this represents my yoke line. So I will impute my yoke neckline, and the neck width I'm working with, this is 3 inches already. The neck depth I do 3 inches as well. So I'll just get the neckline. So just give this a little curve. And so here represents the neck line for this yoke. Okay, so like we're practically almost done here. The only thing left now is just to impute the bust, measurement. So I'm going to come here now on this chest line. I'll impute my bust measurement of which is 35. If I divide it by 4, I have 8.75. So I'll take note of that 8.75. Okay, then I'm also going to put in this allowance I have here, this extra allowance here. I will impute it. This is a 1.5 inch. I'm going to take note of that 1.5 inch of allowance. Then also I'll add an extra 2.5 inch allowance as well. Okay, then I'll come to the under bust line. The under bust line is 30 divided by 4, that's 7.5. I'll also take note of that. Then this dart allowance, I'm also going to put it back here because it will be going off. So what I have here is 2 inches. I'll also put my 2 inches, then with an extra 2.5 inches as well. Then I'll also extend this just to the waistline. And of course, connect it to the chest line, that's the bust point line. And here it is, guys. Believe it or not, this is ready. You can see the front piece of this corset is ready. Okay, so the next thing now is to also create my back for my back piece. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to extend all this line so that I can mark out my back piece on this same line as well. So I'll just extend all these lines straight down, taking this one inward. Although the back piece is quite straightforward, it's not like we are actually going to make use of all these lines, but just to put it in place. Okay, so what I will do now is just to draw a straight line to serve as the starting point for my back piece. Okay, so I'm going to be putting a zipper allowance of 1 inch. Remember, this is a pattern. If I'm placing it on my fabric, I can as well increase it as well to 1.5 inch or 2 inches zipper allowance. So I'm just putting 1 inch of zipper allowance on this pattern. And I'm going to draw a straight line. So I would like to label this. This is the zipper allowance. So the same thing, I'm going to come to this top part and also impute the shoulder measurement, which is the 8 by 3 inches as well. I'll get the shoulder slope of 1 inch, and I'll connect it to the 3 inches mark. Then remember, this is the chest line, the bust point, the under bust, and the waist, and here is the allowance. This is the neckline. So I'm also going to put in, remember the shoulder line we're working with is there 8. So I'm just extending it all. So here I have the armhole line here. Okay, so all I need to do is to create my armhole curve. I'll also, for this back piece, I'm just going in, take the midpoint as well, which is 4. We are not going inwards just like we did for the front piece. I'm just taking it all the way from here. So this is my armhole curve. Okay, yes. So what I'm going to do now is to create my dart. Okay, and for my dart, I'll just take it all the way from the neckline. Remember the bust span measurement was 4, so I'm just putting in 4 inches mark all the way. Like I said, this back piece is quite straightforward. Like, you can actually just cut out through this straight line, you know, as a dart, or better still, you can also put in your half inches. So I'm coming down to this waistline. I'm putting in half an inch on both sides. So I'm taking half an inch on both sides from this waistline. Okay, then at the lower part as well, I'll also extend it the half an inch on both sides. So I'm just taking this straight down. Then I'll also come to this bust point line. I'll just come down by 1 inch, 1 inch as well. So what I'm going to do now is to what? Connect this point all the way to this waistline. So you can see this. It's quite straightforward. So I'll just connect this, and here I already have my. So like I said, if it's going to be a longer top, we can as well just extend this length here, okay? Or better still, you can just cut through this straight line all the way and you know, match it up. It will still give you a good dart, okay? So that's it. Like I said, the back piece is quite straightforward. Next time, I'm just putting my neck line here. I have 3 inches as the neck width. Then for the neck depth, I could also do 3 inches as well. And I'll give it a curve. Okay, so the only thing left now is just to input my measurement. Okay, then for this yoke part, when you're cutting out this yoke for the back piece, remember here is 6 inches. So for the back, you want it to come down a bit. Okay, if you want that, it's your choice actually. So from this neckline here, I can still go down, say by like 2 inches or even 3 inches. So let's say assuming I'm going down by like 2 inches, which makes it 8, right? So at this point here, I could take it all the way from this armhole. I'll just take it like this. Okay, so that's it. So this one gives me, you can make it straight, you can also make it curve depending on your choice. Okay, yes. So that means if you're cutting it out this way, then this other part will also what represent your yoke. So this is the back yoke. This is the back yoke. Okay, at this bust point line, remember the bust point is 8.75. That's what we use. Okay, so it's a good thing I have my 8.75 here. So I'm just going to mark this 8.75. Then on the waistline, which is 30 divided by 4, that's 7.5. I'm also marking my 7.5 here. I remember this allowance that is here, which is 1 inch. I'm also going to input that 1 inch. Okay, so it's a good one. I actually have the measurements here. Now remember, for the front, I used 2.5 inches extra allowance here. I could also do the same thing, but here I have space for 1.5 inch. Okay, so I also have 1.5 inch space. Okay, so fine. So I'll just connect these two together. So I have 1.5 inch of allowance here. So if I need to put extra allowance, all I need to do is just to take note of it on my paper that I'll be putting in extra allowance, okay, when I'm placing it on my fabric. So here guys, we are good to go. And also don't forget, the zipper allowance we use here is 1 inch, so also take note of it. So if you need to increase your zipper allowance to 1.5 inch, so you just extend it properly on the fabric. So that's it, guys. It's quite simple. The only thing left for me now to do now is just to cut this all out. So for the front piece, let me take note of this. This is the yoke. This is the front yoke. So for the front piece, I'm going to cut this out. So here you have it, guys. You can see this piece is ready. So this one is for the back piece. You can see this. And this one for the front piece. It's very important to label this part. So I'm going to be labeling it. I'll call this one 1 and I'll call this 2. And also, I'll just like to mark an arrow showing me the points where they are facing. It's very, very important to take note of this. You never can tell, because sometimes when you're placing it on the fabric and you're cutting, you might be a little bit confused if it's this way or this way. So just take note of it, so that as you are also cutting it out on the fabric, also be sure to take note of the points there. Even when you're applying your interfacing to it, also important to also mark it there. Okay, so when you are now doing the final, joining together, it will be very, very easy. You never can tell. It can be a bit confusing if you do not label it. Okay, please take note of that. So here it is, guys. The front piece is ready here, you can see, and also the back piece. Okay, so guys, that is it on how to create this corset pattern. On the next video, I'm going to show you how to make use of this pattern paper to place it on my fabric, and also to make a beautiful piece out of it. So that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. If you find this video helpful, please go ahead and like. Okay, I'll appreciate your comments in the comment section, and also remember to subscribe as well if you haven't, and also share my video. Thank you so much again for watching. I appreciate you guys a lot. Till I see you on the next video, have a beautiful day.